Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Today I'll be sharing a card using Pretty Pink Posh's brand new Dad stamp set. This set is so much fun, and I do have the coordinating dies as well. I love the wood grain look on the large Dad word. I'll be using that and some of the small tool stamps for my card. I have some craft cardstock in my mini MISTI and also the large stamp with the word Dad. I'll ink it up using some Catherine Pooler ink. This is icing on the cake color. And I'll ink it up several times to get a nice solid impression. Now the ink is slightly wet, so I decided to use some clear embossing powder. Just tap off the extra, grab my heat gun, and get that all set. There are so many pretty embossing powders out there, but I use the clear the most. That way you can keep the original color of the ink and your ink won't smear. It also adds that embossed look and a little bit of shine. Now I'll use the coordinating die to cut out all of those letters, and it does cut them out individually. So here they are, and you can see that beautiful shine from the embossing powder. So I will set those aside and start working on the background. I have some white cardstock and 3 different colors of Distress Oxide ink. So I have Stormy Sky, Crushed Olive, and Speckled Egg. I'll be starting with the Crushed Olive color. I have my Ergonomic Blender brush. Just ink that up and start at the very top of the paper. And I'll be adding all 3 of the colors, just doing 1 row of each. And I did speed this portion up quite a bit. Next, I'll add the Speckled Egg color to the center. And then the final color will be the Stormy Sky. Now, after I have all 3 colors down, I will go back with some more of the ink so I can get a smoother blend between all 3 colors. I think these work great for a masculine card, so this will be perfect for a Father's Day card. And I did grab a scrap piece of cardstock so I wasn't putting my finger in that fresh ink. Didn't want to leave fingerprints. So there it is, all finished. I think these colors are great together. Now I will spritz it with some water, and I did this off screen. I made sure to let it dry first. So there is that finished background. I'll go ahead and stamp my sentiment before I add the Dad word. So I already have the sentiment placed in my mini MISTI. I'll ink it up with the same icing on the cake colored ink. So this is You're the Best. Overall, this is a very simple card. I think with masculine cards, you don't need to add a lot of extra stuff. Now I'll bring in those small tool stamps. My father is a woodworker, so I think he will really appreciate this card. Now hopefully he isn't watching this video. He's so sweet and he does watch a lot of my videos. I have the same ink colors that I used to blend the background. I'm doing some 2nd generation stamping since I want a very light color of all of the tools. I'll ink it up, then stamp it off on the scrap paper, and then stamp it on the card background. And I have some of the tools going off the edge, going for a very random look. And again, I did speed this portion up quite a bit. So I've moved on to the 2nd color going in that middle row, and then for the top color, even though I am stamping this off, I noticed the color is a little bit darker, but that's okay. So trying to make sure to represent all of the tools on here. Then I did use my heat gun to make sure all of that ink is dry. I'll layer this panel on some dark blue cardstock, and this is an A2 size card, so 5.5 inches by 4.25 inches. I put some ATG tape on the back and also a thin line of Barely Art liquid glue. Since I did do some heat setting on this background, it does warp the paper slightly. I just want to make sure it lays flat. Next, I'll put some ATG tape on the back and adhere my card front to a card base. And I won't have any of that white card base showing. Now I can start working on the rest of the sentiment. I've already added some thin foam squares to the back of the Dad letters. Wanted to pop them up but not be too thick. So I'll remove the release paper, and the trick is to adhere them nice and straight. I'll lay out the other two letters first without removing that release paper, trying to get the placement correct. Then I can remove the release paper and adhere all three of them down. And I do tilt my card up just so I can see if I'm getting everything down straight. It's either that or I'd have to lean over the table and get my head in the video. I'm going to adjust that D on the left. And I think they look nice and straight. Then to finish off the card, I don't want to use a lot of extra embellishments. So I'm using Nuvo's Crystal Drops. This is the Morning Dew color. It just puts a clear drop down, so just a little extra detail. Put 2 of them in the upper left-hand corner and 3 in the lower corner around the sentiment. And there is my finished card. This stamp set is so fun, perfect for Father's Day, but you could also use it for anyone who likes tools. There's also the sports stamps and some fish stamps as well. I do have links provided in the description box if you are interested in any of the products I used in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.